amount of those jaw pops. That is crazy. Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we have both of my female Nile crocodiles laying eggs. So I think they have already laid their eggs. They've been on the same spot for about 4 days. They're very, very protective over that spot. Right here is Lumpy, one of my Nile crocodiles. I think she laid right there. You can hear the sound of that jaw pop. And my other really, really pretty Nile crocodile, Lex, I think she laid over here in this corner. So we're gonna try to uncover this nest, see if we can find these eggs. Then we're gonna put them back, get situated, get our incubator ready and our box, and we'll come back and remove these eggs. But it's gonna be fun because these Nile crocodiles are very, very protective over their nests. All right, so as you can see, this is where I think this one croc laid her nest, is right here. So Nile crocodiles aren't like other crocodiles. They're not gonna build a nest. They're known to lay their eggs on the riverbanks in Africa. And it's really, really hard to find the eggs if you don't get them quick and figure out where they're sitting. But let's see if we could just find one without her coming to attack. But this is very, very dangerous. You can see we got some chicken there. That's another sign that these Nile crocodiles are pregnant and are laying, because when they're pregnant and about to lay, they really don't want to eat. But let's see if we could just dig. A good buddy, Justin Brown of mine, has been helping me through this process. He said they should be about 6 to 7 inches down. So they could be here, they could be there, they could be in this other divot right there. So we're just gonna do our best and try to find these eggs. But the fact that they're acting so territorial and defensive over these spots makes me think we got some eggs. Another thing, look right here at the base of the fence. You can see this pile of dirt. That means she was sitting here using her legs and kicking up dirt right here. So that tells me these eggs got to be somewhere right here. You can see Lex, whew, right at the water's edge. Look at how defensive she is right now. Very, very defensive. And then we got old Lumpy on her spot, and Lumpy is one of the chillest crocodiles ever. So for her to be so defensive is so unlike her. Look at that. Got her my stick. I'm sorry, girl. I just want to get your eggs. We're going to try to do this by myself, get these eggs. My buddy was telling me, he goes, give them a couple taps on the snout. They'll go back to the water and you should be able to get the eggs. But that doesn't mean they're not going to try over and over to come get a piece of me. But you can tell she's got some chicken there too. She's not eating. She's not even letting go. This is very unlike Lumpy. She's really just the nicest, sweetest crocodile. And for her to bite my stick out of nowhere and grab it and hold on, means she's pissed. Whew. Look at this, guys. She may have laid in 2 different spots, but if you look right here, there is an egg. Yes. All right, so it's confirmed. Lumpy's got eggs over there. I don't know if they're fertile. We're gonna get the incubator ready. Now we have to make sure Lex has some good eggs too, which I can probably tell she does. This is not too happy. I'm gonna show you guys what happens when you mess with a crocodile's nest. Look, I'm just scraping a little bit on the surface and she's coming over, and that's how you can tell that this croc definitely has some eggs. Woo-hoo-hoo. This is awesome. Easy, girl, easy, easy. I just want to cover this egg back up because I don't want the sun to get to it. You can see Lumpy coming over. She's not happy. Easy. Lumpy has some of the loudest jaw pops out of any crocodile I've ever been with. It's just such a snap on her. All right, guys, so I had to come back with my boys, Kel and Robert. So these crocodiles were definitely trying to unalive me getting these eggs by myself. So I got the boys out here. They're gonna watch my back while we pull some eggs. Kel, why don't you film this?
I got you.
So my good buddy, Justin Brown, he was like, just give the crocs some taps on the snout and they should back up, go towards the water. So we're just gonna see. Come on, back up. This is like the nicest crocodile. My buddy Cal was just saying, he's like, no way, like Lumpy's so chill. But just a couple taps, it's not gonna hurt this croc. I mean, it's a crocodile. There's not much you can do to hurt these guys, but we really just wanna, look at that jaw pop, so beautiful. We just wanna tap her, bother her to where she goes in the water. Back, 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 back. That way she leaves her eggs alone. We go in the water. So we gotta watch out for 1 male crocodile and 2 mother crocodiles, which is like the worst. So as you can see, she's getting irritated. She's gonna go towards the water. Give her a couple more snaps. She busted a couple teeth, but that's no big deal. Listen to the sound of those jaw pops. That is crazy. That's okay. Just want to back her up a little bit more. This crocodile, I said earlier, has some of the nicest jaw pops out of any croc, but I do want her in the water. I don't want to get these eggs while she's on land. I just want to show you guys how shallow these eggs are. Now, I have a lot of buddies who have crocs who are helping me during this process, and my buddy Justin was like, Stone, they're not going to be deep. They're only going to be about 6-7 inches. And look at that. Our first croc egg, second croc egg. This is so exciting. And you guys know Kel has been working towards his crocodilian permit. All right, so the female's coming out. Kel's going to give her a couple little taps on her snout. We just want to let her know. Let's give her a couple taps, See Toothless in the background. No teeth, but still not a crocodile you want to mess with. I think she's good right there. Let's try to be as quick as we can. So you see we've got one hole here, and then we have another here. This is initially where I thought she laid her eggs, but who knows, there might be two. But we're gonna tear this earth up, and we're gonna make sure that there's not more than one little nest spot. So looky here. Now, crocodile eggs at first can rotate them before the embryo attaches, but if croc eggs have been there for a good amount of time, then the embryo will attach to the top of the egg, and you don't want to rotate them. Now we're going to be very gentle, so we don't need to mark these eggs. But let's see. It looks like this one might have a little crack in it, which a lot of times will happen. Look at that. My first ever crocodile egg. We want to make sure we don't rotate it because we don't really know when these females laid. But we're just going to put this right here. We're actually going to move this over to the shade, just in case. So what we're going to do, not rotate it. We're going to get a little divot, put it in there, put some sand around, and let's keep going. All right, Kel, why don't you start digging right there?
I got you, bro.
See if you can find some eggs. Here's another one. This is so exciting. Now, when it comes to crocodiles, not all of the eggs will hatch. Usually the fertility rate is around 75 to 80%. But we're just going to see how many eggs we have and how many hatch. So right now we're at 2. That one looks like it's got a little crack, which is typical. We got 2 eggs. We're going to keep going. We are going to tear this earth up. There we go. One more egg. See it right there. Another egg right there. We're at 4. All right, guys, I think we may have got to this nest a little bit late, a couple days late, because I thought she was going to lay. And then based on her behavior, I realized, oh, wow, she already laid. But typically, if you can get them within like the first 24 hours, you can candle them. If you see a band around the egg, that means it's fertile. Now, if you wait too long, you're not gonna be able to tell if there's a band around the egg. So we'll try later. We'll try to put a light on them and see if we can candle them, see if they're fertile. But they look good. I think they're fertile. They're nice and plump. The outside is pretty tough. That's how I think we're a little bit late. But look at Kel. Another egg. That was awesome.
And to the bunch.
Dude, you look ripped right now, son, with the lighting. And not trying to be.
You only wear size small shirts, man.
The sun, you better let him know, Stone.
For real. I'll tell you what, guys. Lumpy is not bad. Lex is where we're going to have some problems. Lex is much more aggressive, even on the daily, without being gravid or without laying eggs. So this really isn't bad. But big shout out to my buddy Justin Brown, guiding me through the way on how to incubate, what to look for, what month. He's got some Nile crocodiles. His Nile crocodile just laid 2 weeks ago. So we kind of know when these crocodiles are going to lay. These crocs laid a couple years ago on April 9th. And it is, what is it, May 1st today?
May 1st.
So, yeah, we're definitely there. We're definitely there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Nile crocodiles. It's really cool. It's really cool when you have your own crocs and you take care of them for years and you try to do your best, feed them the right things like rats, lots of chicken. You guys saw in our last video when we did a crocodile buffet, we had all kinds of food and these females didn't want to eat. Now this is why they didn't want to eat. I didn't realize it, but they were pregnant, getting ready to lay. And when they're pregnant and they're about to lay, they don't want to eat. So they kind of ruined that video, but they gave us a much better one and a nice surprise over here. As you can see, little tiny cavity. There is so much eggs in there.
So she put a dent in this one right here.
Yeah,
that's just a part of the process.
Yeah. That's typical. You never know what's going to happen. A lot of times when they drop another egg right on top of it, it'll get a little dent. Is that gonna make it? I don't think so, but we're gonna try our best.
Just keep it away from the other ones, I guess.
Yeah, Kel's right. So if you get an egg like this that you think is gonna go bad, a lot of the times they get moldy and even maggots and some nasty stuff will go on, and you don't want that to go to the other eggs. So we're just gonna put this damaged one right off to the side. Do I think it's gonna make it? Probably not. But let me tell you what, I've seen a lot of miracles when it comes to snake eggs, and I'm sure croc eggs are even more hardy. So we're still gonna keep that egg. We'll probably just start in the little incubator. But we wanna be careful that we don't rotate these eggs. Like I said, it's been a few days, I think, and I think that embryo has already attached to the top. So if you rotate it, it theoretically could kill the egg.
Is there any possible way these could be hybrids or no?
No, there's no way. I mean, the male is a pure Nile. Females are pure Nile. Now, Lumpy, I always thought she had a little bit of Cuban in her, but even if she did, you know, it would be like 1/4 Cuban. So Kel just raised a great point. Look at this egg. This egg is almost sitting completely straight up. So he was like, what would you do in this instance? So this one, I would take it just like this. Obviously, this side of the egg is more up. And I'm gonna put it in there, not completely tilted, but I'm gonna put it in there a little bit at an angle, just like that. I think that's gonna do good for this egg. All right, guys, so we think we got all the eggs. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We got 18 eggs out of that clutch. Now we're gonna move over to Lex's. Now, like I said, she's more aggressive, so you're gonna see her start to fly out. Look, she's right there. Watch what happens when I go towards her nest. As soon as I'm over here messing around, this is how you can kind of tell where her nest is. So we're gonna move over here. Look, see? Makes me think her nest is somewhere over here. So she's not too defensive when I'm right here, but when I get over here, look at that, guys. So that just shows you there's something in that corner, and it's probably eggs. Easy, Lexi, easy. There's a knife. Better get back in the water. Yeah. I told you guys I saw a tooth come off when she was chomping at us. How about that? A nice Nile crocodile tooth. There you go, Cal.
Yeah, add it to the collection.
All right, guys, so let's tear this up. We found Lex's nest, so it was really hard. There's like, so when Nile crocodiles go to lay a nest, they do what's called a test site. They'll test the soil. As you can see, the soil right here is very moist. It's good soil. Now, every other place around here, it's not very good, but look, we just found her nest site, and you can see, look, about 6 to 7 inches under the surface. Now, she's tried coming at us a couple times. Check this out. Oh, these look good too. These look beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now, I'm just hoping these are fertile, which they should be. But look at that. And Lex is a really nice Nile crocodile. She's definitely a croc that I want offspring from. Oh. Oh, it's so hot out here. There we go, guys. We found it. A couple light taps, a couple spins. And these crocs, most of the time, will go back in the water. Now, it depends on the species, but these Nile crocs, captive ones at least, give them a couple little, look at these crocs, they're just fired up, but I'm gonna give her some spanks and you'll see. So if you want to move a crocodile, if you want them to go right, you touch them on the right. If you want a crocodile to go left, you touch them on the left. A lot of the times, if you tap a crocodile right in between his legs, he's gonna spin like this and they'll go straight. Let's test that out. See? And that is how you move a crocodile. Yeah, these ones are banded for sure. Okay. So these are fertile eggs. Now that band is gonna start really skinny, and as the eggs age, they're gonna get wider.
You can see from right here.
Now this band is about 1 inch from each side of the egg. So you can tell that you know, we didn't get to these eggs as fast as I would have liked to, but these ones are for sure fertile. I think Lumpy laid hers even earlier, and I also think they're fertile, because if that male's breeding with Lex, he's definitely going to be breeding with Lumpy too. Guys, we've took out 20 eggs so far, and look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is a lot of eggs. Look, Kel. Damn. This one's laid, you know, less than 2 inches from the surface. Cal, let's work on getting those top ones. All right, guys, that's it. I think we're at just over 40. I got to look at the most recent picture we took, but we filled up 2 full levels, and over 40 is very, very good for a crocodile. I mean, I got buddies who got 25, some get around like 30, but 40 plus, that's very, very good. We're just making sure, rounding out this hole, finding all the hard dirt. And this basically right here was her cave. This is what she dug and laid her eggs, kind of filled it right to the brim. But we just want to make sure there wasn't any stragglers, anyone's up here. But I think that is it, guys. We're gonna go ahead and take the shovel. We're gonna excavate this some more just to be sure, because sometimes they'll do a little test hole, they'll drop one and then they'll move around. But that right there is digging up croc eggs, which is, let me tell you what, the funnest thing to do, especially when it's from your animals and you've been working so hard and you had them so many years, and that's the reason you bought them, was to breed them. That right there is a bunch of Nile crocodile eggs. All right, guys, we made it home. The final count was just over 60. So the first female had like 14, 15, and the last one had around like 45. So we're somewhere around 60. We're gonna get a final count here soon. But what we're doing is we're setting up our temporary incubators, because I just gave away my big one, not thinking that the crocodiles were gonna breed this year. But what we're doing right now, we're mixing perlite and a little bit of water. So you don't want this stuff too damp. You want like that perfect consistency, but you wanna be able to grab it and clump up, and then you want to be able to touch it and break apart. So this right here is actually like a perfect consistency. We got one temporary egg container ready, and we got the other one right here. We're gonna put these guys in at about 88, 89 degrees. I think that's a good sweet spot. And these guys will be incubating for about 60 days. Now, I think these eggs have been in the ground for a little bit of time already. But when you're making this little concoction right here with the perlite, you just want to start with a little bit of water, mix it, a little bit more, mix it, a little bit more, mix it. And this stuff, it's really great for holding humidity. So it's very similar to soil. And what it's going to do, it's going to soak into this perlite, and it's going to hold humidity very, very well. And most of the time, you don't even need to add water throughout the incubation cycle. Now this, you can see it's a little bit too wet, so we're going to add a little bit more. But this right here is our temporary egg boxes. I did not think we were gonna get as many eggs as we did. So we're gonna go ahead, we got one more incubator we just ordered on the way, and I think that should be enough. How crazy is that? That just shows you how different each crocodile could be. I mean, one's a little bit bigger, but 15 to 45, that's a lot of a difference when it comes to, you know, the amount of eggs. But it all depends on the size of the crocodile, how much they regularly lay, the age of the crocodile, the diet of the crocodile. There's a bunch of different factors that go into play when it comes to fertility rates and really how many eggs they're gonna lay. But I think that's a pretty good number. I was shooting for 50. I wanted 25 each. I was a little bit disappointed when we got 15 eggs from the first female, but our second female, Lex, definitely made up for it with that giant clutch of around 45. You can literally see the banding on them. See where it stops on either end.
Huh?
You can see it like that.
I want to hold it.
I just want to show you how we incubate these crocodile eggs. Now, I just gave away my large incubator. I gave it to a buddy. It ended up breaking, so we had to get 4 different small incubators. So here we just got some cheap incubators, but as you can see, this one is a little bit high, so we're gonna open another hole. But we want the humidity down to about 90%, and then we want the temperature at around 90. So when it comes to crocodiles, you can literally control what sexes will come out. So anything above 90 will be a male. Anything under about like 87 is gonna end up being a female. And then you have that sweet spot in between where you can get a mix of both sex. Now, right now we have it right at 89 to 90. So we are gonna get a mixed bag of males and females. But here is the eggs in the incubator. You can see it's nice and humid in there. nice and toasty. You can even see the bands. Look at the bands on the egg. You can see them without a flashlight. Now that's how you can tell these guys are fertile. So we really just did some perlite and we left a lot of the dirt on there because you want a lot of that bacteria on there. And that is what is gonna help these guys hatch up out of the egg. So we got 24 in there, we got 24 in there, that's 48. And then coming over here, we have another little cheap incubator. Now, these were all of our eggs that were basically dented or cracked, but they still looked really, really good and they had some banding. So even though they're cracked and dented, I still think these guys might hatch. And then over here, I borrowed an incubator from my good friend, Mark McCarthy. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eggs in here. And this one is cracked right there, but it still does look good. This right here is a really good incubator. This one here is probably not the best. So we put all of our cracked ones in here, but hopefully in about 60 to 69 days, we will have all different kinds of crocodilians hatching. And that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, watching me grab those eggs, collect it from the crocs, put them in the incubator, the whole entire process. The next step will be hatching these guys out. So in about 2 months, that video will be coming soon. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Until next time, see you later.